Hi, I'm Leon Papkoff, CEO of Design Reactor. I'm here with Mitch McCoy, our Vice President of Strategic Accounts. Today, I'm going to walk everyone through this new site we created for Cisco that's focused completely on how do you extend a reach out to a European market around corporate content, regional content, and also integrate a social media program to the site itself.
Leon, before you get started, let me ask you one question. What were the primary pain points when you attacked this
Right.
problem?
So in EMEA, there's a number of different components that they were dealing with. One of the main things is that they wanted to have a tighter integration with press and analysts over in EMEA. And as you know, in EMEA, there's a lot of very distinct countries out there, and some of them speak different languages, and there's different important aspects of Cisco technology that's impacting them in different regional areas. So it was really important to have a stronger tie with that audience itself.
Yeah.
One of the other things that's kind of popped up is that they also want to track more of an engagement process with the site and with their target audience. So it's not just enough to look at how many people are hitting the page. As we all know, metrics on websites today have really changed. You know, it's not about getting 1 million people to look at your website anymore, but it's really about taking a smaller group of your core target audience and seeing how much engagement level they go into it.
Yeah.
So one of the key things that we did with that is we actually broke out engagement in 4 distinct phases, and we're tracking to that.
Okay. This is great. And one of the things I'm hearing, by the way, as you're going along is, you know, one of the biggest selling points in a region is localization.
Yes.
So it really sounds like this tool is aimed at helping those regions be more successful with marketing into specific markets.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it allows them to do that. And on the back end of the site, just so everyone knows, there's a content management system that allows people, other PR agencies, other agencies that develop content for Cisco, to actually log in and actually upload new video content, new press releases, new blogs themselves. A lot of content is going to be focused specifically around events that are coming up.
Excellent.
So let me dive into this.
Yeah.
We'll walk through it. I'll show you how it's used. Gives everyone a really good idea of the value of the site. So the homepage here, first off, it's all built in jQuery, HTML5. So it's very fast, very instant, works on any device out there. I'm showing it today on a Mac, but it'll work on an iPad, an iPhone, an Android. It works on any device. So it's really, really great. One of the latest and greatest things to extend your reach with your audience. So today, all this content on the homepage here, you'll see is that we have videos up front, and then down below we have press releases, articles, blogs, downloads, all these other different pieces of content.
Gotcha. So it's really videos and then documents.
That's right. And this first filter that we're on here, we have all these filters here that the user can click on and adjust. But the first filter that we're on here is actually considered recent announcements. And we did work very closely with the group to come up with content criteria around this. One of the things that Cisco does quite a bit of is actually publish a large amount of content. And so you have to have a content strategy around a site like this that allows you to break down content criteria.
Yeah, and if I may, that is a challenge that all major corporations face.
That's right. That's right.
So I think you're really on to something here, because a lot of companies struggle with this, as well as the regional areas around the globe.
Exactly, exactly. So that's one of the big strong points that we focused a lot on when we first started putting content into the site, is come up with a criteria and then actually educate all the people that are going to be uploading content into it. There's also a lot of governance within the technology itself to control that. So for example, everything under recent announcements is within 30 days. So once it falls out of the 30 days, it would automatically go under one of these other tags here, which might be collaboration or cloud or mobility, or it may just go under a content type.
Now, recent announcements, that's also your default setting for the page when people hit it for the first time?
It is, yeah. So when they first hit it, they're gonna wind up on recent announcements, but they have the capability of kind of toggling through some different filters here.
Wow.
And so when I clicked on corporate news, you can see there's less videos here, but there's a lot of other different releases here.
Nice.
As I go through partner and channel, you'll see that there's actually no videos under that area. I can go Internet of Everything, which is one of the campaigns they're running right now, which you'll see there. And then I can go into content type. So there's featured articles, press releases, in the news, which are third-party articles around Cisco technology.
I gotta jump in here and tell
Blogs.
you, this is great because the interaction is so smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really
It
well
almost
done.
entices you to
Yeah.
want to go through the filters and
That's very
see,
engaging.
see what they're about. Then videos themselves, and a lot of times if there's more than just this content, you can actually click on this button here, which actually gives you more results for that. In this case, there were no results there, but let me go into like collaboration here. You have videos plus all the other items, and then if I click on more results here, you'll see, yeah, there's definitely
There you
more
go.
results under that filter.
Wow, this is great.
Anytime you hit back, it actually sends you back to the last filter that you clicked on. So it's a very intelligent site, the way we've engineered it. Down below, earlier we were talking about languages, and languages are very important, especially when you're targeting an area like EMEA, where there's a lot of different languages that are there. So we have the capability of selecting like Russia and Russian, and then you have content that you can see here that's all in Russian.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, and so the CMS accepts all those other characters. It makes it real easy to get involved with. So I'm going to go back to English here, and we're going to go ahead and dive in specifically to content, and I'll show you how users are actually able to interact with them. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into a video here, and you can see on rollover here that you can actually see how many people viewed it and how many people may have commented on that content item. So in this case, let's go ahead and click into it, and you'll see a very simple, clean user interface here where you see the piece of video that's loaded in.
Nice.
You have a related content right next to it, and one of the important things, just over the years, we've done a lot of statistics measuring about related content, and I will tell you that if you have related content right next to the main source of content, there's actually a 50% likelihood they're going to click on a related piece of content. So it's really important to align that content nicely. You have your title, your description, you can like this piece of content, you can share this piece of content on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or email. And sharing is really, really important, especially when you look at social media and broadcasting that out.
Yes.
You get a lot of people coming back into the site if you build in sharing technologies to it as well.
Nice.
Now, down below here, you also have the capability of commenting on this piece of content. And you can look at the large list of all these other comments around the piece of content itself. So if users have registered for the site, registration is not required for the site, it's optional. But it is required if you're going to comment.
Gotcha.
And this is another stage of our measurement when we're looking at measuring engagement. So one of the latter stages of engagement is really focusing on how users interact with content. So they're just not viewing it, they're not just reading it, but they're actually interacting, sharing, and commenting itself, which, as you can imagine, is really important from your audience and users, that you want to get them to those latter stages of engagement.
Absolutely. Now, so you're trying to create engagement and community.
That's right.
In here, correct?
That's right.
Excellent.
So for users that haven't logged in, if I click here, you'll see what happens is right away, it's asking me to register.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Really nice integration. Now I've already registered, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign in to the system here. And I'm signed in now. You can see my name's up here. And now my picture shows up here. On registration, just so everyone knows, you can actually register with your LinkedIn account, which is really nice because it'll pull your profile information from LinkedIn.
Yep.
Of course, you have to opt in and accept that. And it also will pull the image in that you have on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So now I can actually make a comment. And you can say whatever you want up to a certain character count, makes it really easy to interact. Now the other thing I can do is I can actually checkbox this. What it will also do is it will not only take my comment and post it within the site for this community, but it will also post it on my wall on LinkedIn.
Smart, very smart.
In addition to posting it on the wall with a description about this particular video on my wall, it'll automatically post a tiny link to this piece of content.
Gotcha.
So it makes
So
it really
a big
easy.
long URL, you've got a nice tiny link.
Exactly.
Good user experience.
Exactly. So it makes it really easy for any users that go to my LinkedIn account to click on the tiny link and come back to this particular video. So now we're actually pulling additional traffic in. And this is part of our social media strategy focus around the site itself. It actually will pull more traffic as well.
I like it a lot.
So it's a really nice feature. So if I go ahead and post this, you'll see below, it'll update here, and it shows up here. Now, one last thing on all the comments is, let's say you have a large thread of comments here where there's a lot of interactivity from people, and especially being in EMEA, they may be typing things in different languages. So one of the capabilities I have is I can translate all the comments, no matter the language they're in, into the language that I can read and articulate the best. So I could actually change this to simplify Chinese, I could change this to French, and if I click this, you'll see that it changes in real time.
Beautiful.
All the language. So now I can understand it and be a part of the collaboration, be a part of the commenting, and be a part of the community.
Now I know that in translations like this, it's not 100%, but when you get a string like this, I know that the percentage is very high, but you're going to get a great idea of what that conversation is about.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Great. So one more thing I want to show you. If I go back to the main dashboard, oops, go back here. Here we go. I wanted to show you one really nice system that we also integrated. Is we integrated a blog system into here. So not only videos, articles, press releases that are really important to the audience, but we actually have a really nice blog system here. So a couple different things is when you go in here, you can actually read a nice blog from one of Cisco's key executives and actually go through different links that are associated with that, and you can actually make comments on that and again build up that community around the blog itself, which is really nice. One other component that we've been looking at is, you've heard of infographics, right?
Sure.
So a lot of companies are really starting to focus a lot more on infographics. So one of the elements that we have here is a way to actually build dialogue around infographics themselves. So it can be placed within the system. You have a description, you have an infographic, you can click to look at a larger view of that infographic, get a number of metrics, and of course create that community around the infographic as well.
Nice.
So really nice thoughts about how to extend the reach of the program, how to get more people involved, how to keep content fluid, how to allow your users to engage with the site itself and measure that engagement level that goes along.
So you were also going to talk earlier about the how you measure that engagement. So,
right.
You know, clearly everything here is aimed at engaging with the customer, getting community, getting dialogue,
right,
helping people get to the information that they need and want very easily. I clearly see how you're doing that. Now, how do you measure that engagement?
Yeah, it's a great question, and a lot of companies are working with different models to measure engagement. One of the models that we're using is we actually followed a very traditional sales funnel model. So we're using 4 distinct stages. One is awareness, the next is consideration, the next is interaction, and the final is loyal. And so what we do is we break down different metrics that align with each one of those phases. So to give you an example, awareness is really measuring who's coming to the homepage, who's rolling over certain elements. Whereas one of the latter phases of engagement and interacting with the site itself is how many people are commenting, how many people are sharing content. And so because of the registration, we're able to track these different components by user. And then on a monthly basis, or it can be done weekly, it can be done daily, is we actually will pull those metrics and look at how much of our audience is moving from each stage of engagement.
Nice.
And overall, our goal is to continue to publish really great content, but it increases our engagement level as we add more users in. And this is really what a lot of companies are trying to focus on today, rather than just getting 1 million people to hit the homepage.
Right.
And that's a big different change in the methodology and the approach around strategy around microsites and websites today.
Yep, very well done.
So that's all we have today, but I definitely invite you to give us a call. If you have any questions about this site, give us a ring, contact us at designreactor.com. Thanks again. Thanks, Mitch.
You bet.
Talk to you guys soon.